5, 4, 3, 2. John Carter, here we go.
Zab and Deja Thors, where are they?
They're at the wedding! In Helium!
Hello and welcome to the worst movie ever made, an experimental movie podcast designed with one thing in mind: to find the worst movie ever made. I'm your host, Chris Hockman. I'm joined by my co-host and fellow mad scientist, Rob Scucci and Bob Hassick. Hey guys, how are you and why are we doing John Carter?
Because you guys knew who picked this? Chris, Bob, who picked it?
Chris.
You? Hey, fuck you, Chris. I'm having a really shitty 2 or 3 weeks. Listen to the other episodes. You'll get the bits and pieces. But last night I was like, I didn't watch John Carter yet, and then I fired up Disney Plus where you could watch it.
Yeah,
and it's 2 hours and 15 minutes.
Yeah,
which I'm already pissed off going into it because you don't
sorry.
need that long to tell a story, ever. It's a movie about a guy from Virginia who's a Confederate. So you're rooting for a Confederate, first of all. Second of all, I don't want to get too much into it because Bob's got a whole thing describing it. But I'm not great. This movie pissed me off. It could have been cool. It wasn't cool. It was lame. How are you, Bob? Would you like to describe our Confederate hero from Virginia?
I'm really torn on my opinion of this movie after reading so much about it because this story was written before pretty much everything else in modern cinema / everything. It goes way back.
It's an IP that predates Star Wars, but the movie's trying to be Star Wars because Star Wars.
No. Star Wars stole from this and Valerian.
Yep.
Two movies we did.
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah, Star Wars is the chump in this situation. But anyway, let me continue by talking about this movie story.
Hot take.
Here we go.
Hey Bob, what are you doing over there? You know, it's time to explain the movie, right? You got to give us the best explanation. Bob?
All right.
All right, so we start with alliteration. Here we go. J sound, G's and J's. Giants, Deja, and Jeddaks join John on a jihad, journeying to a juggernaut of jousting javelins, just so Johnny can jangle his jewel.
I need you to
perfect.
I need you to repeat that whole thing because what? Giants?
Rob really is off his game.
You might have got hung up on Deja and Jeddaks because
Giants.
Jeddaks,
you said Deja and
Giants, Deja, and Jeddaks. Jeddaks was something they said a million times in this movie.
Okay.
It refers to an emperor or something like that. But everyone called everyone else a Jeddak.
Leader. Yeah.
All right. So Giants, Deja, and Jeddaks. Yeah.
Join John on a jihad, which was poetic license.
It's good.
Yeah.
It's good.
Journeying to a juggernaut of jousting javelins, just so Johnny can jangle his jewel.
Which I can't wait to see again.
Wow, you got me. You got me. Journeying to a juggernaut of jousting javelins, just so Johnny could jangle his jewel. Okay, cool. Go on.
Jiggle his jumping beans.
I'm gonna repeat something Rob said. John Carter, a Confederate soldier, is jaded with war and refuses to fight for any cause. That's the redeeming thing we're supposed to feel for him. He's only willing to fight for himself. Hence his thirst to mine for gold all by himself. And somehow he happens upon a cave with gold and some sort of bald dude who Carter shoots in cold blood, who happens to be a deity of some sort. But he's in possession of a bejeweled amulet that transports John Carter into a distant world, which we found out later is probably Mars. So distant, but not other dimensional.
I mean, confirmed it was Mars.
There are far too many characters to summarize. Let's just say one group of people have been chosen by the goddess, whoever that is, to destroy all other groups and rule all that remains.
Mm-hmm.
There are native four-armed dudes, a pretty princess, many high jumps, and improbable physics that makes this sometimes fun to watch. I'll be honest.
Yeah.
But overall, pretty flat. Like, there's a lot of story I can tell, but I'm not going to because it's just far too much to summarize. But I'm gonna backtrack a little bit. This was based on a series of books from 1912. Like, that's how far back it goes.
That's the cool part.
Yeah. Originally, they wanted to animate these stories in 1936. So, like, 24 years later. But studios in 1936 were like, no one wants to see an animated movie. Snow White.
Before Disney,
Yeah, Snow White came out 1 year later.
Wow.
So it didn't work, right? Then they wanted to shoot it with stop motion. And of course, they were like, no, that's not theatrical. We can't do that. And then by the time they got any kind of traction, Star Wars had already come out. And then by the time they got even more traction, the Valerian had come out. And then
Ice Pirates came out, yeah.
They finally started making it, and Jon Favreau was at the helm. And this is like 2008.
Yeah.
And then the studio ultimately pulled the budget, and guess what Jon Favreau went to make like the next month?
Iron Man.
Yes, Iron Man, yes. And then Jon Favreau, once this was in production in 2011, he said, hey, can I be one of the characters? So he technically is a voice in this movie. He was so into it. But yeah, even like a lot of like the sci-fi directors and writers of our generation saw the script for this and said, you know what? George Lucas already plundered everything he can out of this. There's nothing left for us. So, yeah, Star Wars had ripped off a lot of this, and so did Valerian, and so did every other sci-fi thing. So by the time this actually came out, no one cared.
Yeah.
My question is, when was Dune written? Much after 1912, I imagine. Like 1958, 1962, something like that.
Much after 1912, yes.
Yeah. Because I felt like this was... I tried not to use too many, like, Dune...
Yeah, Dune was 1965.
65, yeah. I figured it was 60s.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, I tried not to talk about Dune too much in my outline, so we'll see how often it rears its sandy head, but we'll see. Rob, why don't we throw it to your best YouTube comment?
Yeah.
My brains will be squirting out in your ears.
YouTube. I read all of the John Carter books when I was 13. My first was A Princess of Mars. After that, I was hooked. My cousin Ricky Williams turned my on to the Martian series, and I always wanted them to make a movie about it. It has been 40 years exactly since I read the series. Finally. My cousin had a serious motorcycle wreck and died a few years later. He got me so interested in reading. I'll never forget him. R.I.P. Ricky.
Ricky Williams, R.I.P.
I don't know. Was that? I don't think that was Rob. I feel like it was
Rob. I don't think that was Rob.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't.
Rob's dark, but not that dark.
No, that's just something.
Really
that's not dark. That's just something that happened. There was no like.
Why did he bring it up in reference to this movie?
My friend Ricky Williams got me to read the books.
He just wanted to. He just wanted to say that to the public, and he had to have some kind of a
he just doesn't have a therapist, so he has a trauma dump on YouTube.
He has a Google account, so he's like, trauma dump on every YouTube video.
Farming for downvotes is what that sounds like. Test number 1: ain't that a pitch?
We're not cable guys. We're linemen. I told you I'm a lineman now. A lineman's the you want around if you feel like the world's coming to an end. I told you I'm a lineman now.
So you're a lineman.
For being a lineman. For being a lineman.
It's not some boy.
Well, then what is he?
He's a lineman. So you're a lineman. Like you.
Like you.
Ain't that a pig count?
Whose turn is it? Is it me?
I don't know. I feel like I haven't gone first in a while, but I could be wrong.
All right.
Who went first last week? If Rob, if you went first last week, it's my turn to go first.
No, it'd be mine. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if I went first. I don't.
You want me to go? I feel like I haven't gone first.
What was last week's movie? I can't think right now.
It was Paul Blart.
Paul Blart, yeah.
Okay, that doesn't help.
No, it doesn't.
I feel like Rob went first last week.
At the start of the season, Chris went first.
All right.
I don't know how many episodes we are in.
Oh God.
Me neither. If it's episode 4, then it's me again.
It may be. I don't know. Let's keep stalling the runtime and figure this out.
Yeah. Let's keep working this run.
So 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 4. It's Bob. Bob, you're first.
All right. Cool. Right. There was a tale where mostly everyone was Jeddak, where people ask questions only after they attack. Tharks threaten, thrash, thwack, and thump. And before Carter makes the ultimate jump, he gets the Red Martian princess in the sack.
Nice. Does he?
Yeah.
He does. He totally does.
He jangled that jewel.
You got to know that Harpoon was good if he was sent back to like present day Earth and like he devoted his life to being able to smash one more time.
I need to I need to see her bazooms one more time or whatever.
All right.
Whatever the name of the planet is.
Confederate cavalryman from Virginia travels through stars. He wants his gold fortune, but he traveled too far. Fights wars on the red planet. Jumps so far I can't stand it. They hired Taylor Kitsch because they couldn't get the douchebag from 30 Seconds to Mars.
Sick.
Maybe.
He looked like Wish.com Jared Leto.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
That's right. He had some Josh Hartnett in him as well, in my opinion.
I say about 5 years earlier, this was almost a Tom Cruise vehicle.
Oh, wow. I can see that.
Yeah.
More running, though. Yeah.
Yeah. They would have had to have him run more than jump.
Yeah.
True. Okay, so mine is not a limerick. I'm just going to tell you that.
Right.
Upon red Mars a soldier did alight, escaping war, yet finding war anew. He bounced o'er dunes in gravity's delight, while aliens growled in hues of verdant hue. Behold, cried he, a princess needs my blade, though none knew why or the stakes might be. With jargon thick and plot lines half displayed, the tale sank swiftly into obscurity. Yet Disney dreamed of sequels bold and vast, with toys and tie-ins set to flood the land. But box office returns, they came not fast, and Carter's fate was buried in the sand. So mark this, O Hollywood so keen, not every pulp must be birthed on the silver screen.
Okay.
Okay, what do you guys got?
I think you broke us.
Yeah, I don't know. My meters have been fucked with.
Chris, I'm going to go Chris 5.
I'm going to go Chris 3.
So Chris 4 total.
No, I'm going to go Chris 5.
Just to tank that 5. Fuck you.
So Chris 4.25. Is that where we're at?
I think it's 4 1/3.
Yeah, something like that. 4 1/3, I think, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
Oh, great win. All right, let's start test number 2, the most offensive.
Uh-huh.
Us wrong. And
Oh,
is that why you wanted to reference the poem I sent?
Yeah, I didn't want to tell you what was coming, but it was just...
As soon as you said it's not a limerick, I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got it. Fuck. All right, well, here we are at the most offensive. So this is the shit that like made us feel like kind of gross inside. Let's start with number
5.
Alien animal cruelty. Not a big fan of that. No matter what planet it's on.
Yeah, that's true.
Now you're talking about
They were like
the egg killing.
I mean, I thought that was in poor taste, but you don't know if that's like a parasitic.
Yeah.
That's an abortion thing, right? There were eggs, so.
Yeah, it could have been. I don't know. But I'm talking, his like super fast dog thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like punching it in the head and shit.
Well,
yeah. Which
it can take it.
I didn't really like. Yeah, it looked like it could, but you don't punch a pit bull just because it can
big
win.
That dog was sweet. It was a good dog.
Yeah, it was a sweet little thing. I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Number
4.
Jumpin John's abrupt abductions. I didn't.
Are you talking about the montage sequence where he keeps like trying to escape and he's like gets knocked on his ass and he wakes up in another cell?
No, but I did actually like that.
Oh, the beginning, yeah, I kind of like that too.
Yeah, that was kind of fun. But he just kept scooping Deja up without telling her. He's just like, "Oh, we got to go over there," and he like grabs her and then jumps like a mile. Yeah. And that, I don't think like it's not fair to her. You know, I'd be nauseous if I were her. But he like, I never gave you permission to carry me. Never mind, like leap and put my life at risk. Yeah. Like what if you drop me? You know. Number 3. This is a clip right here. For the YouTube viewers, I want you to take a look at the sky that they're looking at in this clip. This is called Binary Moons.
If there were, I would risk anything to seize it. This is the chance we have been given. Perhaps it is the will of the goddess.
No. It is your will. So when I was little, and we would look up at the stars, and you would tell me of the heroes whose glory was written in the sky, how there was a star up there for me. Is this what you imagined would be written on it?
Like when you put things in celestial terms, it's really easy to make someone seem like a bad guy, you know?
Yes. Yeah, she really did like dunk on her dad there. But also she's like, when we look up at the sky at the stars and there's 2 moons. Like I know that they weren't like she wasn't literally talking about the stars. Yeah. She was just like looking at the night sky, even though it wasn't night yet, and there were moons. Mm-hmm. But I mean, you can't look up at moons and call them stars. It's just a no-no.
Yeah,
a cinematic faux pas, if you will.
Junk astronomy.
Yeah. Junk astronomy.
Yeah, junk astronomy. Thanks, Bob. Number
2.
I don't know. How did you guys feel about the Native American Martians? I felt like it was offensive, personally.
They were natives.
I feel like any sci-fi property that involves like an indigenous alien race really has trouble kind of like pussyfooting around the fact that they just want like the quote-unquote savages to be like an iteration of like the American, like American Avatar too, like because like there is the on Pandora they're like simple but like industrious creatures, but like
they are.
But you want them to be a tribe that mimics a tribe that's on Earth in a more remote area.
It's the easiest way.
I've never seen Avatar, but it does seem like they want to make them a little bit abused and then rise up and destroy with the favorable white protagonist.
Yes.
Which is offensive also, but they do give them the satisfaction of that. So I have a hard time balancing those two things.
It's tough because it's like the white savior saving the savages.
Really
it's the dances with wolves.
Could you have a whiter name than John Carter? I mean, that's the whitest name. He's a Confederate.
That
soldier.
is. Yeah. I mean, he's as white as you come. Ew. All right, number.
Oh, Chris. Oh God.
Baking out baby.
Baking out baby.
Baking out baby Barsoomians. So what I'm talking about here is they've got John Carter like trapped in a dungeon, right, with all the little screaming babies, and then they like pour some like liquid all over them.
Yeah.
And they pour the same liquid on John, and it makes him hallucinate. And then all of a sudden, he's able to understand their language,
and apparently stronger.
I suppose. Yeah.
That was something that seemed to be That's why that girl, the four-armed girl, was in trouble because she was the one responsible for making him extra strong and understanding them. That's why she.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
right. True. So she shouldn't have done that.
I guess.
But anyway, that drug, they're pouring it all over their children.
Yeah.
Well, they got to make them strong too.
Yeah, that's true.
I suppose, yeah, but the babies don't like immediately grow.
Yeah.
You know.
I'm
just saying they're getting their kids high, and it's offensive.
What do you know about babies in other planets?
All right, I don't. You got me there.
Yeah.
Let's throw it to Rob's ad read.
I'm not giving myself any credit.
Hey, they're your kids. You can bake in the car if you want to, I guess.
Like a potato.
Well. Just what are you pretty little
listeners
doing out here with no
3 a.m. hot dogs
and to keep you company?
Have an emergency? That sucks. Got a pickle? Problem solved. That's because emergency pickles are cured in the waters of Lake Minnetonka and ribbed for your pleasure. That is, unless you're on day 6 of your bender rummaging for a hot dog at 3 a.m. in the 7-Eleven dumpster. At this point, your taste buds are so shit that any salty piece of phallic food stuff will do. You can't remember the last time you've seen or felt the light or warmth of the sun, but that's okay. Introducing the collab we've all been waiting for. Hot dogs at 3 a.m. and emergency pickles have joined forces once and for all. By combining their powers, you can finally stroke out to your heart's content. What do we mean by stroke? You'll only find out if you go deep enough. Emergency hot dogs and pickles at 3 a.m. If you can't do the time, don't suck the brine.
Oh my god.
We have shit.
What a collabo.
Yeah.
E-picks and 3 a.m. hot dogs?
Yeah.
Don't do the crime if you can't handle the brine, right?
Yeah.
Oh my god, I love that. Thank you so much for joining us. 3 a.m. hot dog. Which do you want first? Who paid us more?
It was 50-50 split.
Oh wow. Okay, sorry.
Minus what I skimmed for my cough syrup money.
Right. I saw that. He's chugging away. Test number 3. This is the worst dialogue.
Low testosterone. Man boobs.
Those are the things they bring up when they can't think of anything else to say, because it's bad dialogue, and this is the worst dialogue.
Yeah, this is some bad dialogue. I don't know. It's not the worst we've ever had on the show, but it is. It's the worst we've ever had. Listen to this. Number 5. This is Blue Light.
Blue light.
When I read our reports on Sabthan's weapon, I knew. Somehow that idiotic brute had discovered it first.
Discovered what?
The 9th ray. Unlimited power. Sabthan only uses it for slaughter. But think of what helium might accomplish with such power. Transform the deserts. Restores the seas.
Is this what you saw, Kantos? It's starting to look very close.
Give it time. It will work.
So she just discovered the thing that makes the gods the gods?
Yeah.
Yeah, but who put their hand on the thing and made it all short circuit? Like, that part drove me nuts.
I don't know. Yeah,
Or
he was like an
just
inside man.
Was that just happenstance, or was that one of those bald guys?
It was one of the bald guys who happened to be posing as a counselor for the Jeddak of Helium.
Yeah.
The Jeddak of Helium. Oh, you are Lord of the Rings, aren't you? You figured out the language.
Well, you hear it enough when you do the clips and everything. Totally nerding out right now. Let's go to number 4. Behind you.
Who is that?
I'm Van Virginia.
Who is that?
I'm Ajax.
Beg your pardon.
Stand behind me. This might get dangerous.
get behind you.
Oh, God.
You let me know when it gets dangerous.
Because he said the same thing to her, like,
right.
Yeah, he also said, maybe I should get behind you.
Yeah,
no, I think he knew what was coming.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
as white as they come.
No, Chris said as white as you come. That's what he said. Just so you know, I was paying attention.
That's why I followed it with an ew. But you don't know which one of you I was speaking to.
Yeah.
I'm older, so it's pretty much like opaque at this point.
Yeah. Thank you.
Fair enough.
That will be haunting my fever dream tonight. Thank you, Bob.
I know. Yeah. Is that something I have to look forward to?
While I'm having my sleep paralysis session in the goo taverns.
You know why that clip was so bad is because of the way
we've diverged so far from the clip.
I know. All right. I just don't like how she catches the sword. You know?
Yeah, it's dumb.
Let's try to number.
Good point.
There's so much sword catching in this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Unrealistically. This is blood.
Mm-hmm. What do you think you're doing?
It is my way, Dr. Sojak, not yours. I must honor my Jeddak and redeem my unworthiness.
You want to honor your father? Then stay alive and help me.
My father?
So,
why would you say that?
That's what drives your compassion. The blood of your father, Tars Tarkas. And of all the Tharks, you're the only one worthy of him.
Nice.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm sorry, my mind is plagued by something I just thought of. The drug that makes him understand their language.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When they say things like Dosaj Sojak, and Tars Tarkas and stuff, and like there is no English translation for that. When the chemical like hits his brain, does he just hear those words?
Yes.
And like they're not translated? Or are they literally translated to English and they're the same? Because there is no word for them?
It's like in any language, if there's no translation, they just show the word, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. But then he wouldn't know what it means.
Context clues, I guess.
I didn't know what half this movie meant, so I'm with him.
We're on the same page.
The same boat.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's bad dialogue.
Yeah.
And then they follow up with the Tars, Tarks, and Tharks and like all that shit that we just don't understand yet and won't.
Tark and Tharks.
Yeah.
Number 2. This one like made me actually laugh during the movie, but we'll see how you guys like this one. This is Bleed.
What are you? You want red man? You're quite white, eh?
You can still bleed like...
So one, he jumps into the ceiling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which was like pretty funny. But also, what's his name? Sab Than. That's the bad guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's like, you're not a red man, which, by the way, is not the native aliens. It's him and his race of like Zudangians or whatever the fuck that place is called. I don't know. And then he says, "You're not a white ape."
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
Which I only later realized they were talking about the giant, like gorilla things in the arena. I guess I don't know.
Was it the same thing?
I don't know, but it made me laugh because I like in George of the Jungle. There's the white ape.
Yes.
In the George of the Jungle, and he's so I don't know. I just thought it was really funny when he's like, "You're not a red man. You're not a white ape." But you can still bleed.
But then the other race called him a white worm, if you remember that correctly.
Yeah.
I don't.
They definitely like to throw the white term around. I'm not sure if that was a modern adaptation or if that was the original writing. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. But anyway, let's throw it to number
1, Daddy.
You know what? Fuck it.
This is Barsoom.
Barsoom. A world on the brink. For Zedenga's new power threatens to destroy our city of Helium. And if Helium falls, so does Barsoom. Rubbish.
Yeah. It's total rubbish. All of that was total rubbish.
It is.
And so apparently she's British. I think this bothered Bob about Gladiator, right? That they like speak in English accents. Imagine if you weren't the Roman Empire, you weren't anywhere like connected to Britain at all. You were on Mars.
This is in my
catch-all. And you still have a British accent? And use British terminology?
Yeah.
Okay.
I need to take the lift and get a bottle of water.
Well, not only is it my catch-all, but this has something to do with the director's choice. I'll get there. But yeah, thank you, Chris, for bringing it up. It's a good teaser.
Okay.
It's a good teaser.
Well, I'm sorry if I brought it up a little too hard.
No.
But I love when bad movies like make fun of themselves without realizing it. Like all we had to do was clip them saying all this stupid shit and then saying it's total rubbish at the end. And it's like my job is done for me. It's beautiful.
Right.
All right, let's go to Bob with the worst production. Let's find out some more.
Oh, it's him. Oh. No, it's him. It's
production. So this was originally supposed to be a trilogy.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let me rephrase that. It was supposed to be a trilogy based on a series of, I think, 6+ books.
Yeah.
It was originally a serial. You know those are like the tiny things before movies. You know, but I'm not sure if they ever filmed any of them. But it was a serial of written stories. And I don't know if it would appear in magazines or newspapers. Anyway, I'm gonna say my worst production tagline is bumbling and unbelievable world building.
Yeah.
And Rob, you talk about this all the time. You talk about world building and like the Marvel universe, stuff like that.
Yeah.
This movie tried to establish quite an unbelievable story, especially considering modern audiences and even audiences of the time in like the 1930s know very well that Mars is not inhabited by major life forms, right?
Yes.
And since then, I'm going to just fast forward to modern day. Scientists have said that life may have existed in the distant past, like the way distant past of Mars, but can't now because there's no water, there's no anything. With that aside, they try to do too much too quickly in just one movie with new language, new words, new species. Who's good? Who's not good? Who does every clan have an evil character? Does every clan have an evil character? Like the one clan had that one evil guy with the one horn, and then the one red guy was bad, but the other red guys were okay, except for the Heliums. I'm gonna say Heliums because they goddamn said it so many times. There's no wonder this didn't do well with the public. There's no wonder. Because on top of that, I really do see too many Star Wars, Dune, Valerian knockoff attempts. Even though most of those came after the original, writing.
Yeah.
But the fact that this took so long to come out, it was too late. This actually holds the record for the longest film ever in development hell because it took over 100 years to get it from paper to the screen. No, I'm gonna paraphrase some facts to support my argument. Throughout production, there had been arguments that it would have been better for the movie to begin with Carter finding himself on Mars, which we know didn't happen. That wasn't the beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then through the narrative device of having the author and his nephew supposedly finding his late uncle's written account of his time being there, following his death, and then flashing back to it.
Yeah,
sure.
The director, the producer, they said that's lazy. You know what? If we do that, then 30 minutes in, I'm going to have to stop the movie and explain the war and Deja and everyone else who's in it. And we're going to have an even bigger problem. So they compromised by beginning the movie with a battle on Mars. And then the Zond guns, I can't pronounce it, getting the nano foam gun from the Therns.
Mm-hmm.
And that shift necessitated 18 new scenes for which Disney agreed to reshoot because the producer director thought, okay, that's a better idea. Yeah. So and here's the kicker. This is the best part. The studios and creators blame poor marketing, timing, and just popular reputation of this movie being bad. And they go on and on and on as if you thought this was long. That's if you read their excuses for why it failed, it would be 6 times longer than what I just said.
Yeah.
I believe
it's bullshit. I'm right, and so is the description I said. Marketing and whatever else is just an excuse.
Think of it as like, all right, you go to the store, you buy some chicken breast, right? And it's like it's clean cut chicken breast, and that's the movie, right? You cook the chicken and you eat it, and it's delicious. The world building is this chicken was raised at this farm, fed this feed. It was raised in a loving, nurturing, blah 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 blah. This happened, and then we cut its head off, and then we took the feathers. Like, I don't need to know any of that shit about the chicken to enjoy it. And yeah, and this movie just kind of it spends too much time in the coop.
And the more they explain on the label of the chicken, the more it costs you.
Yes.
So the more they had to film 18 new scenes, the more it cost them for no fucking reason.
And I'm just trying to make a quesadilla over here, you know?
I really enjoyed some of the battle scenes just for what they were. For what they were, I'm like, this is great.
It looked good.
This is what the movie should have been. But the story leading into it wasn't worth anything. Yeah. I could have started the movie. Here's the funny. This funny. I watched 75% of this movie and then said, you know what, this sucks. I gotta stop and watch the rest later. I watched the rest later. I'm like, this was the best part. I should have just started here. And I didn't need any of the stuff before to understand it.
That's true.
That's how you know it's not a good
one
movie.
Of those they had to justify the budget by making it longer, and it's like it could have been 90 minutes. You could have cut all the fat out, made a 90-minute fucking smash cut of this shit, and it would have been good.
If they
probably had a 90-minute.
Well, if they broke it down to multiple movies, like God, Chris is gonna come
Lord of the Rings did.
Yeah, Lord of the Rings did. If they would have even though Lucas ripped off this completely, like the fact that he broke down the elements of the story into a few different movies, that worked. Where if you try to jam the entire exposition to 1 hour, and then have another hour of action and sort of a lead into the next story, and there's a huge fan base. I'm sorry, I'm going long. There's a huge fan base for this movie. A gigantic fan base for this movie. People love it.
For John Carter.
Go online. People are all over it, and they are dying for the subsequent stories to come out.
Yeah.
Go figure.
Yeah. Not big enough though for Disney to feel like it's worth doing. I did see so what I want to do is I want to, and we've mentioned this on air, I think, so I'm not doing any spoilers here, but I would like to do a sequel season, even maybe next season, and do sequels of bad movies we've done. Because I don't know, maybe we should wait until around October, and that way. Wait, no, we did Troll 2, right? Not Trolls.
Yeah.
Yeah, never mind. Okay, never mind.
Troll 2 is that one, yeah.
We did
There's
Troll
probably
2.
there's probably a Troll 3 though, so we can,
We could. But I want to do it. And I think that they're, like, to qualify, we had to have done the first movie in the series. Because there's so many bad sequels to come. But anyway, I was looking.
You're telling me they're all bad.
Yeah. But I was looking at John Carter 2, and there was a trailer out, but it's just a fanfic trailer.
I was going to say,
which
they haven't made one yet. Yeah.
I was excited to see if they were making one, because then it would be like really topical for us, to do, but they're not. So.
I don't think it's going to happen.
It's looking like no. But anyway, let's throw it to test number 5. This is the worst acting.
Well. Just what are you pretty little things doing out here with no man to keep you company?
Oof, that's some really bad acting. It fits right in with the worst acting.
Number 1. This is Butt Kicker.
Sir, whatever it is you suppose I owe you, our country, or any other beloved cause, I have already paid. I have paid in full, sir. So let me tell you what I will do. I will break me out of this cell. I will claim my gold and get filthy rich. Rich enough to buy your flat, righteous blue behind. Just so I can kick it all day long.
Rooting for a Confederate. Just sprinkling that into the narrative.
Yeah, but they were both Confederates, first of all.
Yeah.
Second of all, he told another guy that he had a flat ass.
Yeah, he did.
I've never made that observation or out loud comment or even thought about it.
Yeah.
Okay. I've made the observation. I'll go that far.
Right.
But on Bryan Cranston, I haven't actually. Not sure.
Maybe I should look sometime. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see.
Either way, why would they
that.
add that adjective? That's so specific.
It was weird. Yeah, no, it struck me as strange. But also, why is he?
I didn't write it down, but I knew I was gonna. Thank you for bringing it up.
Yeah, no problem. Why is he Christian Bale's Batman for only this scene?
I don't know.
He is, though.
It's really odd. Also, it was a strange choice, and it's early in the movie, but that doesn't even mean that they shot it early in the shooting. It could have been anywhere in there. So I thought it's very odd that all of a sudden he's just like, I'm gonna kick your really flat but kind of tight white ass. Like out of nowhere.
Nice additives.
Yeah. Supple.
Kind of supple. Take his pants down, you can see his butthole. It's so tight. Let's go to number 2. This is something we all have now. Bones.
Mm-hmm.
Your ships cannot sail all night in Virginia.
No, Professor. See, our ships sail the seas. Endless water everywhere.
Skeletal structure normal.
What are you doing?
Must be the density of your bones. Jump for me.
Enough! There will be time for playfulness later.
I want no playfulness from him. I want his help. Explain to me how you do it. If it's a skill, teach it to Helium. Name your price.
I'm not for hire. I've got a cave of gold of my own. Somewhere.
Only a madman would rave about the time of oceans.
Is that your expert view? I'm mad.
Or a liar.
She is a good match for you, Dr. Soja.
Don't call me that.
Yeah. That's pretty hard to believe.
They mentioned
your ships can't sail.
They mentioned jumping in your bones in the same sentence.
Yeah.
That's true.
I think it was intentional.
He definitely did want to jump her bones.
And the fact that most of the ship riding he was doing was down the Mississippi with precious cargo before the events that took place in this film.
As in people he was selling?
Yes.
Is that what you mean?
Precisely.
Your ships can't sail on night in Virginia? How does a ship sail on night?
Yeah,
right.
How does it?
I don't know. Anyway, speaking of BS, this is clip number 3. 3! BS.
Oak, Oem, Okte, Weez, Barsoom. Oak, Oem, Okte, Weez, Barsoom.
Army of Darkness ripoff.
No tree rape though.
No, that's Evil Dead. That's Evil Dead 2.
That's Evil Dead. Yeah.
Which we didn't do the first, so can't do that sequel. Sorry to say. I think that clips.
Yeah, those are good movies though.
Those are good movies.
Yeah, true. Well, we do those too. Where, Rob?
www.theworstmovieevermade.com. And really quickly though, just because we're on the BS right now, here's an abuser that I have called Beans.
Beans. The first item is beans.
I remember that. I should have. Oh, you should have seen that coming. Oh, that was so funny. Good job, Rob.
I didn't. Was it supposed to be funny? I don't even know.
Yeah,
it's really funny now, though. That's all.
Everybody, shut up for a second. All right, here we go.
Beans. The first item is beans.
Okay. We're good.
Can we keep that on the soundboard, please?
Yes.
That's got to be a soundboard stay, I think. That's got to be right along dongs, please.
I
like dongs.
That should be an ad read, for God's sakes.
Beans. Think about them beans.
I mean, they were important to Confederate soldiers, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So, anyway, let's throw it to fact or no fact, please.
Oh, already? Okay.
Let me tell you something. When Bob hits you with these facts, your brains will be squirting out of your ears. This is fact or no fact.
All right.
Got Grease too. All right. The movie's called John Carter, but in line with your history, which is not quite my history, I called this Cartergeddon.
All right.
Oh, nice. No, it's yours now. You've adopted it.
But I wasn't there for Armageddon, and maybe we'll redo it someday, which we will.
Wait, was there an Armageddon 2?
I never saw either of them. If there is one, anyway,
there isn't.
This is a game. This is a game where you guys got to find the lie, and there's a lie here. Out of 4 facts and a lie, the first one, here it goes. While filming at Big Water in Utah, the crew accidentally discovered a 60-foot-long dinosaur skeleton. Okay, second one. In the original book, Carter and the natives were nude. Okay, third one. The book was written in Utah, and much of the film was shot in Utah. Okay. Fourth one. Taylor Kitsch, that's the guy that played the lead, John Carter. Mm-hmm. He learned parkour in preparation for the film. And the fifth one. This director had previously written the screenplay or original story of nearly every successful Pixar movie to date.
Wow.
Figure it out, chumps.
Wow.
All right.
Talking shit.
No, I'm not talking shit. I'm just.
We gotta get him. We gotta get him.
Number 1 and 3 corroborate each other if they're true, because Utah, So I'm just gonna take those at face value and say they're true. In the original book, Carter and the natives were nude. I could believe that. If we're doing like a pulp serial,
I got a question.
What?
I got a question about that. When they're nude, because they have 4 shoulders, does that mean they have 4 tits?
Yes.
My research didn't go that far because I didn't read the stories.
I need to know because I think if you're to have shoulder, you are to have tit.
Probably.
Well, I mean, you think about quadruped animals who have multiple nipples. It makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
And shame on you for thinking about that.
I'm gonna say Taylor Kitsch did not learn parkour because like he was just jumping straight. Parkour's like you're doing cool shit when you do parkour. So I'm 4. 4 is the lie. Final answer. Locked in.
Carter's native nudes. I wrote Carter native nude 4 tits ? Let's see.
It's a good thing in analog because if you wrote that on like a Google search page, you'd be flagged.
True. I don't know. Given that it would be very funny, I kind of want to go with that one. Like, Bob, you're assuming that we know that like Utah is like fossil territory, which I don't necessarily know to be true. If that's a lie,
I assume nothing. I'm just spitting facts and no facts.
It's just it's like a weird one, man. So I'm between 1 and 5. Let's go 2.
All right.
Oh, the nudes. Okay.
Yeah.
Recently, you've been doubling down, and you should have because Rob was right. Okay, so
we got him. Not chumps. At least not both of us.
Right.
Nice win, Rob.
Yeah,
he proved that we're both not chumps. So that's a win for both of us.
They discovered a 60-foot-long sauropod. I don't know what that is. A sauropod dinosaur. You guys have little kids. They probably know what that is. I don't.
Yeah.
In the book, Carter and the natives were nude. It's a fucking fact. The book was written in Utah, and much of the film was shot in Utah, almost 100 years apart, which is crazy.
Yeah, that is crazy.
And the director had previously written the screenplay for almost every. My God, it was like Finding Nemo, Finding Dory, Toy Story, all of them.
Jesus, really?
It was fucking Monsters Inc. All of them. Like you name it, he wrote it, or at least contributed to writing it. Anyway, the lie was Jake Gyllenhaal learned parkour in preparation for the film Prince of Persia.
Okay.
Which came out like a year before or after this did.
All right.
And it sucked, right? That's a movie we should do.
It came up as a recommendation. That's where I found it. It came up as a recommendation after this one, which it sounds like it fits our wheelhouse, but I don't. God, I hate fantasy movies. I fucking hate them.
Yeah, same.
Well, I love them. I love them so much.
But they're
like for this. I mean, this is gonna be one of our best episodes. Come on, it's great. Bob, think about it. You know, people want to hear this shit. Jake's doing well.
You know, if you were a salesman and you walked into an office just whispering benefits for why I should take your sales pitch, I would kick you out after kissing you on the forehead.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. No. Look at this car. It says, "Why does I come?" Let's throw to the catch-all.
Yeah.
Oh, this is verbose.
Yeah, I know.
Get the hell down from there!
Don't worry, I'll catch you. Because this is the catch-all.
Killed training growing tigers naked in a meat suit.
All right.
God, Rob, that's driving me fucking crazy. This music.
Yeah.
I think I'm going insane.
Yeah, that's the point.
Well, good job. My number 5. It's negative 81 degrees on Mars at night. Go ahead, Bob.
Yes.
Okay. So I have written down something in catch-all early. I'm going to try to save it for my number 1, hoping you don't say it, because it drove me the most crazy, but also made me laugh and applaud the most at the end. We'll see if I can make it. I'm going to go to the end and say, first of all, you guys might have seen this. At the arena when John Carter was fighting the white apes or whatever.
Yeah.
He was chained to a rock. And the top of the spike that is the chain is tied to the rock is in the shape of the Disney D logo.
How about that?
No.
Yeah. I thought that was stupid, but I'm like, I'll mention it in the catch-all.
All right.
Cool. Yeah, no,
especially because he could have walked up to it and unhooked it. It wasn't latched in.
But he had to. He decided to like pull the chain out of the rock instead.
Yeah, and then he had. Yeah, you got it.
Yeah, like the sword in the stone. Number 4. Was this the worst and laziest costume design for a large budget film we've done so far? I say it's like Space Troy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Like, why were they Roman like soldiers with fur on Mars?
Yeah, on Mars. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like.
Well, you know what?
Really bad and really stupid.
I'll jump to it. My number 4. I'm going to say, how many gold miners in the 1800s were jacked like John Carter was?
Yeah. He was jacked as shit, man.
He was jacked, and he was evenly jacked. It wasn't like just his back.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you're right.
I mean, like that's how it was. Like I remember seeing like old photos of like wrestlers and boxers back in the day. They had very specific areas that were jacked. Everything else was out of shape. This guy was like
because that's where they were working.
Like they skip leg day because they're punching.
Yeah, this guy was modern day jacked.
Yeah,
he was like we talk on the show about 90s jacked, but he was like 2000s jacked, which is another thing.
That took me out. It took me out of the movie. So,
yeah, like he was mixing creatine with his beans.
Exactly.
First on the list, beans. Gotta have the beans. Second on the list, creatine bean. My number 3. Mars' atmosphere is made of 95% carbon dioxide, 2.6% nitrogen, and 1.9% argon, with trace amounts of oxygen and other gases.
Yeah.
So, how does he breathe on Mars?
Future.
I know. Yeah.
Like that. Okay, I'm just spitting more facts at you about how this movie's not possible.
Yeah.
But I guess 1912 they didn't know this shit because they didn't have high-powered telescopes yet. So
yeah.
Go ahead, Bob.
So I wrote down when I was watching the movie. I said, "Why is the English accent so prevalent in all fantasy movies?" Mm-hmm. Then, as I read,
I'll tell you why. I know why.
Well, the director and producer's choice in this movie wanted to make sure that the enemies had English accents, yet the girl lead, I forget her name now, she had an
Deja.
English accent. Yeah, Deja had an English accent also, which begs the question, who's the enemy?
Was she two-timing?
Yeah.
Maybe she's a red woman. Not maybe she's a red woman helium plant. You know? It's hard to say.
You know, if you want to make helium plant my last word, you just made a good case for it.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't presume to tell you what make your last word.
No, that's never happened.
Should I throw it to my number 2 yet, or should we give you a little more airspace? Yeah. Okay, 2. They're trying to make fetch happen, but for like 40 different ridiculous sounding words. And I did write the worst of Dune, because the thing I hate most about Dune is like the cataract, shatterat, fatter, fuck, like whatever the fuck they're saying. Kizak, Zedarak. I don't know what the fuck Timothée Chalamet is supposed to be in that story. I feel like I have it on the tip of my tongue. Anyway, the worst thing about Dune is how dumb the language is.
Yeah.
But otherwise, it's a great movie, especially the new ones. The 70s, 80s ones or one is a little weird. But anyway, all of the bad, none of the good from Dune. But that was a little what was that movie? Mean Girls reference
Girls?
for you. Yeah, you know how she's like, stop trying to make fetch happen.
Yeah,
like she just is saying fetch over and over again.
Yeah,
funny concept. They're saying Jeddak 78 times to the point where I think I used it properly before because they actually drilled it into my head.
Yeah.
But they're trying to make that happen for all of this terminology in 2 hours, and it's just like, please just leave it.
It's exhausting.
Just please stop. Yeah. My Jeddak.
Can't believe we sucked each other's jargons. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great South Park episode.
That's my favorite one.
Yeah, so good.
Taco poops ice cream.
Yeah.
My number 2 is okay. She doesn't know how to shake hands, right? She like shakes his hand,
right?
But she knows how to kiss.
Yeah.
Like apparently that human trait translated just fine into
Martian trait,
fucking helium trait. Like they're like, and she knew what to do. She didn't push him away. She didn't bite his tongue. She just accepted it. So it didn't make any sense. It wasn't consistent and bullshit.
Yeah.
And I'm still holding on to my number 1. I hope you don't take it.
Well, I've got 1A and 1B. Can I do both?
Please.
Yeah. Okay, my 1B. Bob, you must have hated watching those gorillas die. Or rather, not hated. Bob, you must have loved watching those gorillas die. You know why?
Why?
No.
Because they had blue blood.
Oh, that's such a reflection on yourself. Oh my god.
Hey, look, I'm not on the soundboard because I said a particular thing.
It's not
Fuck
one
the police.
episode. There we go.
Fuck the police.
Yeah.
Fuck the police.
Yeah.
Fuck the police. Fuck the police. Fuck the police. Fuck the police. Fuck the police.
All right. There you go.
Oh my god, that was so many.
That was so many. My 1A. The ultimate bad guy really likes being a lady.
Yeah.
Like the bald dude with the thing that he like can transform himself into other.
He really did.
He transforms himself into like 4 different women, and like 3 of them are old.
Yeah.
This is like, what kind of kink is this guy on? Anyway, definitely a big kink for him.
All right, this is huge. You guys are gonna either laugh at this or be mad that I mention it. Okay.
Oh shit. Okay.
So, in this movie, right, they tie up Carter in like leather straps, and then instead of untying the straps, they slice them with a big knife, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then they tie them with chains and ropes, and then they cut those. Like they never untie, they never unbuckle, they never unlock. They just fucking slice it.
Yeah,
like,
that pissed me off.
It's like ruining all their work.
They can reuse those. Yeah.
They did it so many fucking times. It was like all the way to the end of the movie. I was like, near the end, they were like, they had them all tied up and like, crash, and they crashed the chain and they set them loose. And I'm like, God damn it. Why are they breaking everything they're tying? It's such a waste.
Fuck
I think that was like really a specific thing that if I noticed it and I hated this movie and I was barely watching it, everyone else should have noticed that as well. And my passion should show you that was my biggest beef with this movie, was wasting tied constraints. The constraints were good. Untie them or unbuckle them or unlock them. Don't fucking smash them.
wasting tide constraints.
Yeah.
That sounds like a demerit if I've ever heard one.
Yeah.
Yes, do it. Please. It was that bad. If you didn't notice it, it was the worst.
No, I mean, now that you mention it, yeah, but like if you're gonna be as primitive as American Native American Martians and whatever, like they're supposed to be, and you need to like you're almost at the level where you need to conserve every bit of energy. You know, like you watch these nature documentaries, and it's like the crocodile needs to decide if he's going to get onto land to chase this thing because he's going to have to use so much of his energy to get it, and if he misses and doesn't eat, then he could die because he used too much energy with no result. Like, don't waste your tide restraint.
The first one that I noticed was when they first captured John Carter. They had these leather straps, and the straps were like barely like a square knot. Like, you can see the tie. It wasn't so bad they couldn't untie it, and and they sliced it. And that was my first instance. I'm like, why'd they do that? Because they could have untied it. That's a waste of resources. They're on a planet with limited resources. They're the minority. They shouldn't be doing that. And then they just kept doing it over and over and over and over and over. And I noticed it. And
I don't know. I suppose dramatic effect.
And if the filmmakers and editors didn't notice it, shame on them. They should have.
Yeah. They should have. I agree.
I'm right.
All right. Let's. You are right. Let's throw it to back credit names.
Slick Rick Raider, dedicated to Steve Jobs, Oliver Boot, Gary Tubbs, Jonathan Crazy Bull, Aaron Topham, Bean Peel, John Countryman, Lee Gooch, Leonard Woodcock, and Vladimir Furdick.
No, okay. Oh shit. Okay. I was team Bean Peel, and then the Furdick got me.
Vladimir Furdick.
Beans. The first item is beans.
Did you plan that? Because that was perfect.
No, I didn't.
No.
I felt the moment was right.
Definitely did not plan that, but it was correct.
Bean Peel wins now.
Yeah. Bean Peel definitely now wins. I agree.
With a Furdick follow-up.
Yeah.
In a court of law, that would be the verdict. All right, let's throw it to the offensive minigame.
You know, sometimes things sound offensive.
Hell, training grown tigers naked in a meat suit.
But it's for us to figure out if it is or not with the offensive minigame.
All right.
Getting really sick of saying Dom DeLuise. So, Dirty Dom Deli. Or Jumpin John heroin hijacks.
No, Don
DeLuise.
Dom Deli.
This is not
Dom Deli.
Go ahead.
This movie wasn't that offensive, except for the whole Confederate thing, and then like the indigenous people that were like offensively like.
But he was anti-Confederate. If that makes it any better.
Well, he wanted to work on his own, which was a way of like skirting the fact that he's from Virginia and definitely fought for the people who like slavery. Family Fun Firing Squad or Native American Martians.
Native American Martians.
But they're not Native American. There's Native Martians.
They're Native Martians, but that's the whole problem is that they're too Native American to be Martians.
Firing Squad.
All right, well, I'm going Native American Martians.
Yeah, I can
tell. Baking Baby Barsoomians or Mommy Mustache Makeout Sesh.
Oh, God damn it, you're right. The baking baby is
getting the babies stoned, I guess,
Getting the babies high. Fuck. Wow, I can't believe it. Okay, let's throw it to the movie comparison.
I thought killing the baby is what you're talking about, but that was, still.
Okay.
That'd be worse.
This is ridiculous. I'm sorry, guys. I think it's time to compare the movies and get the hell out of here. We've been through enough.
Your hook's cut out because your knees are too close to the pole. Y'all learned that on the first day.
Fuck you.
All right, Munchie and John Carter.
Yep.
Bob, you had a nice 4.5 on Munchie, which is why I was trying to get my 4.25 star up as high as I could, but I only managed a 4.3, so you win for Munchie?
Tanked it.
Yep.
Yeah, you did. You tanked it. Because he knew. He knew what... he knew what...
I actually didn't, but I anyway, go ahead.
I would have. So...
Yeah,
offensive minigame. John Carter
nothing.
actually
See,
edged
look,
it out.
This is my table. I have nothing.
Yeah, well. I've got about, I don't know, 30 or 40 notebooks that are like completely
psychotic.
full.
Yeah.
Yeah. One day my kids are going to find these ancient scrolls and just throw them out because they're not going to give a shit. Offensive minigame. John Carter won. Dialogue. What was worse? I think it has to be Munchie.
Yeah, it's Munchie.
Even with all the Jez Setter suck my cack language that they had, it's still Munchie. Low budget things or bumbling and unbelievable world building. What's worse?
World building.
Boy, I'm gonna agree. Yeah, world building is worse. It was really unbelievable.
Yeah, at least in Munchie, they all they had to like build was Brooklyn.
Yeah, at least you knew what was happening in Munchie.
Like exactly, like
it wasn't great, but you knew what it was. You know,
from go. As soon as you saw Munchie and he hung out in the kid's bedroom, you're like, this is weird, but I get it.
Yeah, I kind of understand. Yeah. Okay, for acting, I think it's probably Munchie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Munchie's bad.
I think Dom DeLuise is just really fucking awful in that movie.
Yeah.
He is.
Demerits non-moving mouth or wasting tide restraints. Wasting tide restraints.
Yeah, wasting tide restraints.
I'm gonna
go
go with that because Bob, I noticed that too, Bob. I just didn't like think of it like to bring it up, but you brought it up, and I was like, shit, yeah, they did do that quite a bit.
Quite a bit, like really a lot. I'm not gonna make you rewatch this because I can't. I have no power for that.
Never.
But holy shit, it must have been like 10 to 12 times.
Yeah,
I believe it.
There was one point where I'm like, can I just like rewrap those things around like the same peg? Like,
yes,
yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, they probably could.
Yeah.
Here's a question.
The first harness was leather.
Yeah.
That easily could have unwrapped it.
Yeah,
just go ahead.
Considering runtime, which movie would you rather have to watch tomorrow?
Munchie.
Munchie. Yeah, which makes John Carter the worst movie of the season.
What?
So far.
Okay, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that.
Fuck yes. And it wasted like $150 million.
I'm glad you brought it up because it does come down to runtime. It's just like at this point, they both suck.
Yeah.
Which one am I going to spend less time with? Is like what it comes down to.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
Okay. All right, we got to do a live look-in. I'm not very fast at these live look-ins. Hopefully I have Instagram.
Well, I voted only once, which is unlike me. I usually vote
unlike me too, because I voted twice.
Both my accounts, and I didn't do that.
All right, let's see. The Fanatic has 62% of the vote. Hudson Hawk with a meager 38. So next week we'll be watching John Travolta in a Fred Durst vehicle called The Fanatic.
Is that 2019?
It's pretty recent.
2018 or 2019, depending on whether you're going by like the film festival or like the theatrical.
I'm looking at my downloads right now, and that's what I'm.
2019. Yep.
All right.
And it's John Travolta and Devin Sawa.
Oh God. Okay. We'll see if I can get it before I go to bed.
All right. It's on Tubi for those watching at home. If you want to check it out.
If John Travolta and Devin Sawa want to get something rolling, they could win 2 seasons in a row here, potentially.
Yep. Rolling.
Oh god, I hope that happens.
Rolling, Durst.
What?
Yeah, nice reference.
Right.
Okay, Rob, why don't you plug us and then throw it to
Everybody
Bob
knows
for
your
his last
references
word,
are always.
which,
Everybody knows your references are always off the chain. You know,
which we definitely don't already know.
That elemental flow.
Elemental flow.
Yeah, he's got the elemental flow. Yeah,
I just did a bag. I don't have the 10,000 Maniacs one on my board. Damn it. All right. All right.
Yeah.
You can find us at www.theworstmovieevermade.com. Just click the logos and follow the colors to your desired streaming platform. We are on YouTube. We are on Spotify. We are on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, probably on Tidal. I don't know. I send the feed out everywhere. If you use Cast Magic or like Overcast or like Pocket Cast or Podbean or any of those things, just search The Worst Movie Ever Made. Bean Peel, exactly. The first thing on the list is Beans. We are on TikTok. We are on Instagram. Just www.theworstmovieevermade.com. We're there. We're there waiting for you. We're going to be watching John Travolta open a movie next week where the first line is, "I can't talk for long. I have to poop." With that,
but
Bob,
I didn't know that.
What is your last word, Bob?
I'm just gonna go with Jeddak.
Yes. Okay.
See y'all next week.
Thanks, Maeve. Thank you, Shay. And of course, Pajo is cool.
Taking babysitters.
Goodbye, Rob. He's had half a bottle of cough syrup.
Oh no, this is from all day. Instead of doing the 30 milliliters every like 4 hours, I've been taking like a tiny like little swish to like pro.
Yeah. A sip and syrup.
Yeah, a sip and syrup. Yeah.
Is the Fanatic streaming anywhere?
Doobie.
Oh really? Okay.
Oh no shit. Oh good. I'm glad you said that. Hey, check out the Fanatic. It's free on Tubi.
You guys weren't paying attention. I already said that when I was talking about it.
Yeah, we don't pay attention to you, Rob.
Yeah.
I know what you mean because I already had a beer and I opened another one, so now I have 2 open beers that are completely full.
Okay.
And you know what that means.
That means you're gonna be peeing a lot at like 3 a.m.
Yeah, it does.
Bye, Jelly
With 3:24.